So I would like to wish Pallavi and all the viewers a very good afternoon and welcome to the CGFY Conversations. And today we have in our CGFY Conversations the women special episode, and we have someone very important here today. We have Pallavi Patgaonkar. I mean, I
Hello.
know her since many years,
Yes.
and I'm so happy to have you in our show today.
Thank you so much, Ashish, and it's such a pleasure being here.
So let me give a brief introduction to our viewers about Pallavi, and then we will begin the formal interview. So Pallavi has been an alumnus of XLRI, and she also holds a master's degree in science from the University of Mumbai. She's a certified coach, image coach, and an assessor for emotional quotient. With more than a decade's experience in marketing of international education, Pallavi now has been focusing on helping professionals enhance their personal brand through series of image management interventions, competency enhancement, and behavioral skills workshops. Pallavi is currently, in fact, the CEO of Global Talent Track. Prior to her stint as a CEO, she was a partner at Harmony Consultants. She has been regularly interviewed on Doordarshan as an expert on personality development, and her 1 hour episodes on image management were received extremely well. As a facilitator, Pallavi has conducted a series of workshops for diverse industry sectors on leadership, team cohesiveness, conflict, time management, and productivity, high impact communication, and many other programs for various industries like manufacturing, IT, BPO, BFSI, telecom, pharma, and worked with various organizations. Pallavi also coaches entrepreneurs and C-level executives in the area of personal brand. Pallavi works on the philosophy of helping professionals and entrepreneurs build their own brand in line with their value system and environment. She has been a regular speaker at various industry associations, social organizations, and educational institutions like CII, Rotary, NITI, Pune University, and Indian Education Society. Apart from her professional pursuits, she is also involved in various social causes in the field of education. She currently serves on an advisory board of Purva Seema Vikas Pratishthan, an organization dedicated to the cause of national integration through education, and PSVP has done exemplary work in Northeast region of India. So with so many different facets to her work and personality, let me formally welcome you to this show. And
Thank you so much, Ashish, and that's such a kind introduction. So many thanks.
okay, I would have liked to go on and on, but of course, we need to respect the time. So, Pallavi, I have seen that, just to tell you a little bit more. So, CGFY Conversations is an initiative of career guidance for you, and through these talks, we try to bring in various professionals from different industries, etc.,
Yes.
different roles, and through them, we try to convey and communicate a lot of mentoring and
Yes.
advisory inputs to our students who are from the 9th to 12th grade, students who are studying in college, and also their parents who have also watching this, who have also been watching this show.
Yes.
So I've seen that in this entire, when it comes to students, they love to read and watch and listen to the journeys of successful people. And these days, they do not have the patience to read autobiographies and biographies, and they like to put on the videos. So if you can just share your career journey, right from what you studied, and then how
Yes.
what all things have you done in your career, that will be a great motivator for our students.
Oh, wonderful. So my career journey is, is what would I say, very colorful in terms of various things that have happened in my career. So being born in a professor's family, and education being the only trump card, and more so the time when we graduated or we were in school, science was a default career choice. So there was, either you are a doctor or you are an engineer, and everything else is, there was no career beyond that when I grew up. So to sum it up, I am a failed doctor because I wanted to go for medicine, and that did not happen. Eventually I completed my master's in marine zoology because I wanted to do the deep sea, research. And that's my reason of doing marine zoology. Being a topper in college, and that research always fascinated me. And again, I continued my research in analytical chemistry for my PhD. Now, most of the times you just pick up a career because it's in the, that's the way to do it. So, BSc, then MSc, then PhD. You don't really think about it. Or rather, I did not much think about it. I thought that was the most natural progression. There were a lot of people who told me then, you should actually do a people's career. But then it never struck me. And so after my PhD is when, that is, I left it in between for various reasons. One of them realization was that, yeah, I need to do something in something where people are connected. And that's when my educational journey started. And that's when I must put on record this, that when I started with IMS is when I met you. And to date, I still say that everyone must get a boss like you. The reason is there are so many learnings that I have got in that journey, for which I am totally grateful for. So that was the point when I started my journey into the educational industry, and have spent almost um, 15 years in that educational journey. Later on, when I was into international education, where I have spent about 11, 12 years, which an international education had students who would go abroad for their studies. So right from counseling to their visas, again, a fantastic experience in terms of professional career. Uh, After that, I took a career break because, I had to look after my child. So that was a career break of 2, 3 years. And then when I decided to come back, I think it runs in the DNA that when you have teaching in your home, the teaching runs somewhere. So I thought that I have to get back into the training profession. And that's when I did my certification in image consulting. I became an image coach, and thereafter, my journey as a trainer facilitator started. Uh, Post that, I ran a company for 10 years along with my husband, and both of us were into this training, facilitation, coaching space, and we've literally done work across industries. Again, I would say a beautiful learning experience in terms of training and facilitation. And now, presently, as when this opportunity came through as a CEO for Global Talent Track, where we work in the space of CSR and corporate, it's like a dream come true.
Wow. So interesting. So, I'm just trying to kind of connect the threads. So from marine zoology,
I
so
know,
wanting to do pursue a medical profession, to
I
marine
know.
zoology, to analytical chemistry, to education sector, and phenomenal. So, well, I was going to ask you, what is it that made you take so many roles? But I think you gave the answer that somewhere you wanted to work with people, and
Yeah.
that's what. And teaching runs in the blood of the family. That's
I
what.
swear. And you know what, Ashish, I always felt all through these years, I felt that, I'm like the jack of all, doing everything. I mean, I would find people that, I thought that I'm going to do this and I have done this. And for years I have been doing this. And I always felt, what am I doing? I mean, I'm doing so many things and so many different things which are literally not connected to each other. But when I came into the training profession, and now I feel the dots are connected when I look back, because all those experiences that I had taken back then were so useful to me during my facilitation and trainings and coaching. No matter which industry I went to, I would feel at home because I had bits and parts that life had given me experiences about.
No, that is very wonderful because many times we have I get students and even professionals who say that, okay, I've pursued so and so education and I'm changing it. So does this has this education, is this a waste, or is this experience a waste? And what you're saying is that finally it really resonates with me that it's all about connecting the
Yes.
dots. So
Yes.
finally you realize that, okay, if I had not got that experience 15 years back in that diverse
Correct.
industry, not connected with what I'm doing today, I would not have done this work as well as what I would have done.
Yes, yes.
So I think beautiful.
And
So
I think as long as you do anything with passion, uh, all through when I look back, no matter where I was, that passion was one thing that took me through into whatever I did. So that is one thing which has remained as a common thread. Rest, the industries have changed, the learnings have changed, all are different.
yeah, absolutely. But now that you were saying passion is one thing that has been a common thread, and passion is a word that is being used, pretty
Yeah, yeah,
right
yeah, yeah.
center. What is your idea of passion?
So when I say passion, it's about, giving yourself into doing it, completely and wholly. So whether I'm doing marine zoology, it is my love for fish and planktons, to chemistry, the bioequivalence, to whether it was, the educational industry, when in international education, I would live through the students. So be very happy when they got visas, or feel very sad when they were, struggling, to counseling them into various opportunities that they had. Uh, every little thing. So to doing my training and facilitation, where standing in front of the participants gave me a real high, and to what am I doing today in CSR or corporate trainings. Again, CSR, where you get to impact so many people and you really feel grateful for it. So every step is where you really give all out. You just go all out to doing what you are doing. Uh, is how I would define passion.
Wow. So in short, you are saying that, passion according to you is doing your best, stretching yourself completely
Okay.
and working in a way that you are in the space of contribution. So whether it is students, whether it is zoo plants, or whether it is, and now CSR and therefore the
Yes,
beneficiary.
yes. So
Wonderful.
every time, this is the only question that I would ask is, uh, what is it, whatever I'm doing, is there anything that I'm able to contribute completely to this? And is this something that I'm really enjoying, what I'm doing? So every time I get answer as yes for both of these, I would say that's when I would go ahead and do it.
Great. So checklist is like, am I contributing and am I enjoying it? So if I'm
Enjoying.
contributing to something and if
Yes,
I'm enjoying, then I will do it. That looks like what you've been doing.
absolutely.
Superb, superb. So that's I think a very good takeaway for our young students, that when you are doing any work, or when you are, so am I contributing and am I enjoying? And Pallavi has very beautifully explained what is passion according to her, and how this passion has helped her to navigate through various diverse roles that we've talked about. Superb. I want to ask you something. Since you have specifically, I mean, in two capacities, you have as a partner in Harmony Consultants for 10 years, you along with your husband have been into training and CEO coaching. So you have done CEO coaching and now you are also CEO yourself. Now, I think this is very interesting that you have been on both the sides of the table, right? So can what I see today's youngsters, when I talk to them, some of them are very ambitious and they say that, okay, I want to be a CEO of a company, I want to start my own company, etc. So I want to ask you, what does it take? And since you have seen so many CEOs, you have coached them and you are yourself a CEO, what does it take to be a CEO?
That's a very interesting question. My most of the learnings have come from my association, or my, the time that I have spent with them. And the one thing that runs, and this is what I have observed, and this is what I believe in also, is that you ask any CEO, and the only thing they will say is you have to deliver results no matter what the circumstances. So when it comes to CEOs, professionalism is the key. Delivering results is the key. And at the same time, what I would say is showing the goal and the hope and the aspiration to the organization, and taking the organization along with them, appreciating the diversity that the organization brings. Because if people are like me, there is no diversity. I would while I would like people to be like me because it would be a seamless interaction, it's not of any purpose, because it's the diversity that brings the beauty in any organization. And therefore, to take all people along, and achieve, and yet achieve the targets no matter what, or deliver results no matter what, is one thing that I have seen in the CEOs. The second thing that I have definitely learned from them is the way they structure their time, because it's just 24 hours, 24 hours for them, 24 hours for me, 24 hours for anyone. And the only thing that takes them through, and what I have observed from them, is the way they structure their time, the way they utilize their time to the maximum, and that whenever they are doing things, they are in the moment to do it. So very high action oriented people is what I have come across. So thinking is one thing, but so they will just get into action, see some things work, some things don't work. Some things don't work, always will give you a learning. Okay, it has not worked, but it has given me a learning to do something. But all the CEOs that I've seen are highly action oriented. They will just go there, do it, fall, fail, get up, do it again. So that something has been my learning from all the CEOs that I have interacted.
Wow. So I think a lot of takeaways for our young viewers. So you're saying that as a CEO, what does it take is one thing very clearly you are saying is action oriented. They will
Action
be in
oriented.
action all the time. Secondly, very clearly what we are saying is delivering results no matter what. So no
Correct.
excuses, no reasons, regardless of whatever circumstances, just deliver results. That kind of an attitude, never say die attitude.
Never say die.
Music dialogue, wonderful. And third is you are saying, if you okay, you take an action, you may be successful, you may not be. If you are not successful, or if you technically fail in that particular activity, then you once again get up and be on the move.
Yes.
I think these are beautiful points, because I see that a lot of students, when they prepare for competitive entrance examinations, etc., they sometimes do not score well in some of those exams, and then they feel disappointed, so
Yeah.
much so that sometimes they say that, okay, I wanted to be so and so, but I have decided not to go that pathway, because they lose motivation. So I think this is very important. I mean, those of you who are watching, who are planning those competitive exams like the engineering, the medicine, the management, the design, or any of the other competitive exams, please note this point, that be in action.
Be in
And
action.
yeah, be in action. If you even if you fail, just get up and still be in action and deliver results. Beautiful.
Correct.
Beautiful.
And again, you know what? There is opportunities always come to us many a time. So never say no to any opportunity, because you never know what it turns into later. And I think that's the biggest lesson that I have learned in my journey of life, is that it may be totally something which is tangential, something that is not what I am doing right now, but that's still a path that is opening in front of me. I will always want to go and explore it, because you never know what comes out of it later. So you cannot really plan ahead. You can definitely take an action, work on it, see if it works, but you can't have, too much ahead. This will work this way, then I will do it. Does not happen. Just go ahead, do it. And have that self belief that you will be able to do whatever you decide to do.
Wow. Okay. So just look at the opportunity, just go ahead. And one more important topic point that you mentioned is self-belief. This keeps coming across. And I would specifically like to reiterate this point, because you will see a lot of achievers whom we interview, they will talk about self-belief. And I think one of the things that really, I would say it's become like a malaise for our youngsters, is lack of self-belief. Because you in this generation of Instagram, you put up a Instagram post, and if you get lesser likes than what you expect, then suddenly your self-belief goes down. Oh, is there something wrong with me? Should I have more makeup and post it or whatever? So I think self-belief is so
Yeah,
important.
yeah. And so I would really like to share what I do, and whosoever I meet, I always share this with them. Uh, is I stand in front of the mirror every day, and I tell myself that I'm the best.
Wow.
And I also appreciate myself, and whatever. I am tall, I am, my smile is good, my eyes, whatever you want to appreciate about yourself, to the mirror. The reason is then you are less dependent on people to appreciate you. So the likes really don't matter, because you are happy with yourself. And that is when I say it's self-belief is, when you've already appreciated yourself, when you know that you really are good in so many, you have to say this to yourself. So sometimes it looks narcissist, but it's okay, because that develops that innate confidence in you. And I think that uh, those are the vibes that you pass out to people whom you meet, because people react to those energies, those vibes. And I think it starts from you. So who you are matters, what you think about yourself matters. And therefore, I feel that appreciate yourself every day. It does wonders.
Wow, I think this is like a mantra or a formula. How do you build self-belief is you stand in front of the mirror and appreciate. So you appreciate yourself for maybe your looks, maybe your height,
Anything.
your
Yes.
intelligence, whatever you want. So many things are there. I think this is a mantra. I would really like all youngsters, even the uh, grown-ups who are here, to really look at this self-belief mantra. I think this is phenomenal. I think this is one thing that definitely I'm going to take back from this conversation. Uh, Great. So, so you are so busy. I mean, do you, and I think knowing you, I guess you got a lot of interests beyond work also.
Yes.
So, what interests you beyond work, and do you really get time to pursue those interests?
So we are, as a family, we are crazy travelers, and we do a road trip every year. And by now, we have completed the north, that is Ladakh to Kanyakumari and all of West. That's because every time we get a chance, we get into the car and go for a long drive. That's one thing, but that's not something which is possible every now and then. But having said that, yes, reading is one of my hobbies. Nowadays, so cooking also is, sometimes I cook, but I love to watch the cooking channels more than I cook. And that's what the kids say, that you watch the channels but nothing is on the plate. uh, Whatever. But yes, so
Yeah.
one of my hobbies definitely is gardening, and the second is cooking, and the third one is reading. So most of the times I may not get time for other two, but I ensure that I read at least one page before I go to sleep. And I truly believe that it's extremely important to have another side of your personality than just your work, because you are not what your work defines. You are a whole lot of things that put together makes you as a person, and therefore there must be a lot of versatility in your personality. So hobbies is one where you really go or do something which is completely different from what you do in your work. And I believe everyone must have a hobby that they must follow, because I don't have time is the biggest excuse that we have. But this really does not take much of a time. And it takes, whether it is music, whether it is drawing, whether it is creativity, it just builds on to your persona. And you know what, Ashish, nowadays, and all the time when I've taken the leadership workshops, I have seen people and leaders who are extremely, who do have this creative side, are have a unique way of solving problems because they can think from different angles. So that's when I, started developing my creativity very seriously. And the reason is because the both sides of the brain have to be functional for you to become a holistic one.
Wow. So we are talking about couple of things really, I've hit me hard right now with this answer. So again, so many of my students, they are in their 12th standard,
Yes.
11th standard, not getting time to pursue their
Fine.
hobbies, etc., etc. So for you all, this is a big takeaway that what Pallavi is saying is, one, at least if nothing, four hobbies, but if nothing, at least one page a day of reading, which is a pursuit of at least a hobby for at least 5 to 10 minutes of your day in case the day is extremely busy.
Absolutely. And you can do you can do it twice a week, you can do it thrice a week. If reading is not your hobby, it's perfectly okay.
Yeah,
If painting is your hobby, even doodling is a hobby.
right.
Even making a reel is a hobby, I would say.
Right.
But anything extreme, we need to go seek a balance. But spending
Absolutely.
about 5 minutes a day into what you love doing, other than what is your, if study is the main thing, then something else which is completely different than study is what will
Absolutely.
give you that diversion. And I think that is absolutely required.
Absolutely. So you may have your board exams coming in the next 15 days, or
Yes,
your JEE, your
I
NEET,
know.
NID entrance coming up in the next 2 months or so, but still pursue some, take some portion of your day and pursue a hobby. That's what we're basically talking about. And the other interesting thing here is you're talking about how by pursuing a hobby, you become more creative.
Yeah,
And when you are
yeah,
more creative, the way you solve your problems at work are going to be much more there's going to be much more creative analysis. That's what I could really get.
yeah, 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 yeah. Absolutely.
Super wonderful. So that kind of answers my question. When I'm going to say, how do you juggle so many things? But then you are saying that, okay, you try and manage and see to it that at least something like reading a page every day is something that you do. Beautiful. Now, since you've been predominantly, I mean, though you've done many hats, but a lot of your time has been spent, professional career has been spent in the education industry, the
Absolutely.
training industry, et cetera, et cetera. So teaching, training, education, skilling, et cetera, et cetera. Now, I have this question that, in current scenario, we are in a world there is a chat GPT and there is
Yes.
a a robo who is teaching, so a robotic teacher or or such a lot of automation. You got a lot of free education and free videos on the internet, etc. In this kind of an era, what do you see as the, I mean, do you see, how do you see education industry and a skilling industry as a career opportunity for our young viewers who may be inclined to make a career in this industry, a professional career? Do you think this industry will have scope, or everything's going to be free and automated?
So I always believe that education is a recession-proof industry, which means education will always stay. See, the various formats of training has changed over the years when I started. So earlier, it would always be in-person training and the connect with the crowd. Uh, but COVID has taught us a lot of things, including how do we change our mindset and approach to the training and the training fraternity definitely changed overnight when it came to training and facilitation. What I would, what I believe personally is that we have to adapt that change and accept that change. So when it is a beautiful, it's not either or. So when we adapt that technology into education and various learning methods that are available right now into the education and training, it becomes a beautifully blended model. And that's something which I'm really working on right now at the company to make it a beautifully blended model so that it has everything. It has online learning, it has a blend of platforms, various platforms, it has AI, it has chat GPT, but all of this together when it comes together, it becomes an experience in itself, including metaverse. So when you see that experience, see, when I grew up, I would have to imagine how an ocean would look, how what is 10,000 feet below the sea. It was all imagination or it was all pictures. But today with metaverse, the students are actually able to see what it is being 10,000 feet below the sea. So all that experience is something that, when I took that experience, I thought, wow, it would have been lovely to be a student today of zoology. But having said that, when we get all these experiences and all the technology into the education, it becomes an experience, and that is the experience that we must carry to our audiences. Now, having said that, if everything is available online, if we have Google Baba telling us everything, all the information is available on the net, then what is it that I bring to the table? I bring the experience of how to use it to my audiences.
Mhm.
So with when this is, so what is in it for me is the question the audience asks. When there is information overload, what I do is to curate the information and then bring it to the audience whosoever. So I need to know my audience first. That's when my experience of whatever 30 years or 25 years in this training and facilitation is where I bring it to the table to help them understand whatever they are seeking. That's it's just helping. I'm not saying 100% I would fulfill all that, but I would just help them to navigate around whatever information is available, so that at their workplace or in their professional and personal lives, they can implement it in the best possible ways.
Wonderful. So you are saying that, all these innovations in technology which are there can all get, as a professional in the field of education,
Correct.
one can look at integrating all these tech
Yes.
elements so as
Yes.
to bring a far more learning experience and enriching experience for
Yes.
the audience. So you think that's definitely going to be an interesting career opportunity
Absolutely.
for.
And especially, again, I come back to the point that if you are, venturing into the education, and especially in the education which creates an impact, one, you must be very passionate about it. And two, the thought that with my profession, how will I be able to impact? How will I be able to contribute? There is a whole lot of demand, and there's a whole lot of work that we can do. And it's like wherever you go, you will be able to create an impact. Just that you must have that passion, and the question that what will I is there any how much of a contribution can I do, because the sky is the limit.
Wow. So, which means we can say that for becoming successful in the education industry as a professional, one of couple of things are very important. One is passion, and secondly, how do I contribute more to my
Yes.
audience, to my
Yes.
students? Wonderful, wonderful. I think if these qualities are there, then we can definitely, some of our students, youngsters can definitely look at education industry as
Yes.
a career opportunity, and which is getting bigger and bigger, and let's say bigger and better and more professional now.
Absolutely. And then there are, so things have moved away also a little from the traditional that we had. There is a lot of mentoring that happens. There is a lot of, impact assessments that have happened. There is a lot of data management that happens. So there are so many things that have been integrated now into the education. So it's not just standing there. If there are times when people come and tell me that, I can't stand in front of the audience and train, which is okay. There are so many things around it that you can still contribute to, in terms of content, in terms of making anything or modules interesting for students, in gathering a feedback, in just going ahead and having conversations. So there's a lot that can be done.
Right, right. And just brings me back to those 2 points, that if you have passion and how do I contribute, then I think it all fits in with the kind of expectation which is there from a professional who is working in the education industry. Wonderful. I want to ask you, I think, a couple of more questions. I mean, I know you're very busy, and again, today is a busy day, but I'm just going to, extend this by a few more minutes. Now, I want to ask you, since you've been, okay, let me first talk about students, because, they are very important audience for us. So, from a point of view of success for our students who are right now, let's say 13, 14, 15, 16, 18-year old, 20-year old, etc., etc., what do you think are the skills and qualities that they should get, that they should inculcate in them, so as to become successful in their careers in future? They may take any career, but specifically, what is your advice to them? What is it that will make them successful in their future?
So while each person will have his or her own ways of succeeding, I will share those few that have helped me in my career journey. One of them, the first one, is being a learner all the time, no matter what you do. So every time I feel I have arrived is where I get into something which I am not comfortable at all. The reason is that keeps the one, that keeps my brain sharp, and two, it always allows me a different dimension to study. So be a learner all your life. Keep learning, no matter what you learn. So that is not important. Anything and everything that you learn, keep absorbing like a sponge, because that's going to help you in your career ahead. So that's one. Second is be what do I say, accept change with open arms. Because the careers that we are thinking right now, and I might, I am some bygone era, I would say, but the careers that are there right now did not even exist then. And I'm sure you would have heard about this statement many times over, but that's a reality that the careers are fast changing. So it's the more I adapt to change, the better I am suited in any. So if I'm nimble footed, I'm flexible, and I adapt change and accept change, I am a far better professional in my career and in my life. So the because change is the hardest thing. I have been so used to do certain thing that somebody asks me to do something else is very difficult. But those who are very easy to change, those who can quickly say, okay, this is it, okay, I will take it up, let me do it, let me see, and I will do it quickly, are the go-to people in any organization. So that's the second one. The third one I would say is be resilient, because today's whenever we look out for leaders, we look out for leaders who are resilient. Those are the ones. So I'll give you an example. Even during floods, the grass will bend, uh, but it will still stand up once the flood waters recede. That is where what I mean by resilience, that you stand your ground, you change as per the circumstances change, but you have the potential to stand up again once the crisis is over. So you also need to stand tall in crisis and take up the challenges, saying that, okay, this is a crisis, fine, fair enough, I will, I stand up, I take it up, I will accept the challenge. I will give my best to it so that I am a problem solver. The more problem solvers we are, the better we are as professionals. And so these three things. Fourth is, I would always say, is there is nothing called as a dead end. Please remember this. Life always navigates and finds a way. So never say that if this has not worked in a particular way, something else will work and you will find a way. So always keep those options open. So if this is not working, I have multiple, every problem in this world has at least one solution. So always look out for those solutions, always look out for different paths that will ultimately lead you to your goal. uh, and the fifth thing is invest in relationships, professional and personal both, because when you create your ecosystem and support system of people, is when you will become extremely successful in your workplace. The reason why I say this is, we always talk, most of the times we talk as role to role in any, at a workplace. Let's invest in relationships and talk to people as people to people. That's when we build our ecosystem, which is a very strong one. And that's when that ecosystem and support system will come and help us when in our professional paths.
Wow, very well said. So many pearls of wisdom coming from you. So we're talking about so many, I think five things that you're saying so important for career success. So you're talking about saying that, never give up is something that I really, really took up, that, there is no dead end, never give up. And, resilience, which is like, that nice example you gave of a grass when flood water recedes. So it's a good example to remember. And investing in relations, I completely agree with what you're saying on this front. And well, these three are the real big ones apart from the other two that you talked about. So I think, with this kind of clarity, if a young audience starts imbibing these points and imbibing these qualities right from now, I think it would really help you all to become successful. I mean, you are creating your base, to become successful in your future. Lovely, wonderful. And I want to ask you one question now. This is specifically because you have also worked as an image management consultant for a lot of women, and you are also passionate about, I mean, that's another area that you're passionate about, helping women. So, what would you like to tell? I mean, because a lot of our audience is also, women, homemakers or working women. So, what would you like to advise them as some tips, some part, just before we close the show?
So for all working women, I would say that typically this question is always asked is how do women, empowerment and all of this. But I firmly believe that, I would never use the women card at all, because I believe that in a professional circle, it's gender neutral. There is no man, there is no women. It's all professional. So um, if I have to, as a woman, there are multiple roles that I play, and one of them is being a professional. And we as a country have so many women leaders, that it's just, you just go there, be a professional, enjoy your work. Having said that, there are various stages that we go through. That is when create an ecosystem, as I say, and I firmly believe in it. That's your family support, that's your friend support. Reach out to your support. The other thing that I would always, and I definitely want to share, is time. Is because, as I said, time is just 24 hours. Never have guilt that, I don't, I had that. And so I'm, sharing this very openly, that at the time when I would feel that, oh, am I not spending time with my child? But never have that guilt, because the quality of time you spend with your family is more important than the quantity of time you spend. So when you are there with your kids 5 minutes, the whole of 5 minutes is with the family, and it applies to everyone, even youngsters. When you're spending time with your family, with your friends, if you have 5 minutes, then don't look into your mobile or your reels or your social media. Be there completely for those 5 minutes, and you'll realize that those 5 minutes are a lot of time. The other thing definitely is invest time in yourself. That's your me time. And so what I generally do is I wake up half an hour early, so that's my time. And that is not shared with anyone. And I believe that time is extremely important. See, one day comes to us only once. So whatever I can pack in the day, let's do it. A lot of planning helps, a lot of timetables, if you are, if you like them, have them, but be flexible. If it is not followed, it's okay. So please be kind to yourself. And when you're working, go out and work, because every time you work, you are contributing to your organization, to your surroundings, and something that you should be really, really proud of. So be happy, enjoy your life, enjoy work and enjoy your family both at the same time. And having, so most of the times you would feel that you've given a lot to everyone, not to yourself. That's the time you pause and say, every day I must do at least two things that I love doing. That's when my day is complete. So that is my, that's what I would share with working women. With homemakers, that's a full-time job. And I have been a homemaker for 3 years when I have taken a career break. So treat your, and sometimes it can be a thankless job. So treat yourself as a complete job. 9 to 5 is when you, if you're at home, 9 to 5 is where you will actually keep yourself busy. That's when you, and do anything and everything that you like to do in that 9 to 5. So take it up as a job as well. And invest time, because you should never have regret saying that after 10 years, when I look back, what have I done? So do things that you love to do, despite being at home, because that's a full-time job that you're doing, for which everyone around you must be grateful for.
Wow. So you are saying that everyone is in a full-time job, no matter
Yes.
whether you are a
No
working,
matter what you do.
whether you are a homemaker, and be happy seems to be the golden word. Be happy and do those two things that you love doing for yourself, and probably get up half an hour early for that if it's needed. So wonderful. I think with this golden words of advice, not only for our youngsters from a career perspective, but for women, for their for their empowerment and for their fulfillment. Thank you so much, Pallavi. It was wonderful to have you on our show, and we look forward to have you many more times on our show and talk about different topics.
Thank you so much, Ashish. It was such a pleasure.
Yeah, and I would like to tell all our viewers that if you have any questions for us, any questions for Pallavi, or any questions to me on, so for what are Pallavi subjects, so anything that you want to ask on women empowerment, on success, on CEO, etc., or you want to ask anything about careers, etc., feel free to send a WhatsApp message to me, to us on this number, and then we'll get back to you in about 48 hours. So my number for this, for CGFI conversations, the WhatsApp number is 8591650481. I'm repeating the number: 8591650481. So with this, I would like to conclude the show. Keep watching our show, and keep sharing, so that we will also be able to contribute to other students who are aspiring for career success. Thank you very much.